Alright, so before I even start this video, I just want to let you guys know I had a whole bunch of GoPro footage of me working, doing the actual labor, because it was just easier to do wear the GoPro and make the video than it was to just set up the camera on a time-lapse and work, and that way it was a little bit more interesting for you guys to watch. But I kind of goofed. I accidentally deleted the footage after I had already uploaded the video, or edited the video. I thought I had already uploaded the video. I'm here in Florida at the moment now, and I accidentally cleared some space on my hard drive, and that video was one of the videos. So otherwise, this video would have been much longer, so hopefully you guys enjoy what is here. But here you go. Here's the video. Welcome back to the channel, guys. Hopefully you're having a good day so far. I have some work to do to the S because I've got limited time crunch. This is the week that I go to Florida. I leave Thursday. I've got some jobs lined up through the week, so this is the only time I have to work on it, which is right now to get these parts. Granted, I guess I could wait till after I got back to do this, but I'm just trying to get it done. So if you guys remember me mentioning, I think when I did all the front right suspension stuff, blah blah blah, that I needed to do the control arms because the alignment was messed up. So that's what we're going to be doing today. I bought brand new OEM control arms with compliance bushings, new alignment hardware, and all that. It's already all assembled. I just gotta like slap it on the arm. It comes pre-assembled. I got new upper control arms, and then I got new lower ball joints. So once I slap this all on, the whole front suspension on this car will have been rebuilt, other than sway bar end links, which are next on the list. But I believe one of my arms is bent, as to why my alignment, it won't go in spec. So my toe is set, but my caster is way out, and because my caster is way out, my camber can't go into spec. So my camber is level. It's even right now. It's at 0, or just about 0. I forget. I have to look at my spec sheet. But on these things, you actually want to run a little bit of camber in the front, like about a degree and a half, because that helps with the steer-in response and whatnot on these cars. The toe is good where it's at, like I said, but the caster is like 2 degrees forward on one side, and it's just it's out of spec. So the car's understeering a lot. Like it drives normal, but if you're trying to drive even remotely aggressively, you can feel the understeer. Normally these cars are supposed to turn in really good, which is how I want it to be. So let's get these things slapped on. I got the car up on some brakes so I can go off the front jack point, and we'll get some boxes unboxed and we'll start working. Open up this first box really quick. So this is all the alignment hardware. These things are, I think, $6 or $8 a piece, something like that. This is like $150 worth, unfortunately. All sorts of different washers, spacers, all that stuff. So yeah, I'm not even gonna bother. I'll throw the part numbers up if you guys really need them, but they have diagrams for that. So here's one of the big arms. So this is usually the problem guy right here, the compliance bushing. These things usually end up tearing on these guys around 100,000, 80,000 miles or something like that. And that can mess up your alignment specs too, make it so you can't get it into spec. So either mine are probably ruined, like old, beat up, or my arm is bent, like I think. Because again, everything on this passenger front corner had to be replaced already. So yeah, these things are $350 a piece. So hopefully they fix my problem. And then over here in this box, we've got, I believe these are the upper control arms. Yeah, so new upper control arms. These things are just like rock auto ones. I didn't really need to get OEM or anything really fancy. I'm not going full race car. And especially since in the future I do plan on upgrading to like some of the True Heart ones. Oof, lose my balance. Because the True Heart ones have the adjustable camber, and it'd be nice to have a little bit more adjustable camber in the future, but as for now, OEM style, totally fine. Okay, and then here in this smaller box, we've got our lower ball joints. Thankfully, the lower ball joints on these things are really easy to swap out, because I don't even have to separate it from the other arm. All I have to do is unbolt it from the hub, which is these 2 top bolts here, so nice and simple. So here's the old arm that I just took off, obviously, nice and beat up. The compliance bushing, it doesn't look completely obliterated, but it is really, really well. I mean, it is torn in the corners here. These opposite corners, it's pretty well torn. But overall, probably had another year or two out of it. But this one just looks and feels so much nicer with the new bushing. So obviously I have to bolt the ball joint on. It takes 2 seconds. We'll do that here in a moment. And obviously this is the other side. So I'm gonna do that really quick. Thankfully, that really came out pretty darn easy. So these are the bits of hardware. This is what gets seized usually. So I'm gonna make sure when I put this up, I put anti-seize on it. Not that Arizona gets really any rust or anything like that, but corrosion is just, you know, it can happen to anybody. But this is the other piece. So you got your main bolt with the, I don't know, the washer thing you already attached to it. Then you got the second washer here. And then you got this bolt. And then I think I may have actually bought these bolts too, just because. So yeah, let's go through my bolts pile really quick. We'll open them all up, compare them, and just replace what needs to be replaced. But I got the alignment hardware just to be safe, and the guy recommended that I buy it anyway. Because the eccentric hardware tends to wear out over time, so it's good to replace it anyway, which is exactly why I did that. And it's nice having fresh hardware. Alright, we got this arm all bolted in. Everything should be snugged up. I'm gonna go ahead and start working on this. All I have to do is pop this ball joint loose, undo this ABS line or whatever this is, the sensor right here, and then it's just those 2 bolts there, and it'll come just out towards you. And then get the new one on. Ball joint's already on, so bolt the new upper arm in. This side's done. So good practice is to preload your suspension before you tighten all your bolts around for arms like this that have rotational. So I haven't snugged up the control arm bolts completely. So I'm gonna go ahead, just take the jack and just put a little bit of tension on the wheel to kind of get it more in its resting position. And then I'll go in really quick and snug it all up. Got this side completely buttoned up. Gonna start doing the second side. So yeah, hopefully it goes pretty smoothly. Got this side done, but it did not go remotely as smooth as the other side did. I don't know why it gave me such troubles, but upper arm's in, lower arm is in. So the only thing I gotta do is add a cotter pin right here really quick. And then this thing's good to go. Slap the wheels back on, and then needs an alignment for sure. I tried to match the amount of space on the eccentric bolts, at least for the caster, on each side. So I don't know. I'm sure. But with that being said, I'm gonna put the cotter pin in really quick, put the wheels back on, and then I gotta run down and drop a package off because my last DA rear bumper bar got bought out yesterday morning, so I gotta go drop it off at the post office really quick. And then Ramon's gonna be coming over here shortly, and we're going to cut and polish his trunk, because in the last video, if you guys didn't watch it, then we re-cleared it. He gave it a wet sand, bought some clear coat, so I shot it with the gun, so it doesn't look bad at all. Like, looks pretty good, but obviously we want better. So I'm gonna have him wet sand it pretty good, and then I'm gonna go ahead and cut and polish it for him. But yeah, now that I'm wearing half a tube of anti-seize and covered in crap, got it done though. Okay, well, S is back together. Ramon showed up, so we just finished wet sanding the trunk. It didn't need much. We just did a 2000. So I got some 3D1. It's like a professional type cutting compound. Very good stuff. So I'm gonna use this for the cutting, and then I just got the fine foam. I don't have like the really coarse one. And then for the polishing, I'll use the ultra fine foam. I'm just using the Bauer random orbital from Harbor Freight. Works pretty well, especially for the price. But yeah, we're gonna make this thing look minty. I just did one pass of the cutting compound on the top. And this is just the wet sand. Nice and glossy already. Alright, so this is just a single pass of cutting compound on each side of the trunk and a single pass of polishing compound, and it looks pretty darn good. Look at that gloss. Not too shabby. You can see the S2000 in it. What do you think, pup? Think it came out good? Decent enough? Just gotta slap it back on this car now and get the spoiler back on and stuff. Alright, so we just moved into the next day. Got back a little bit ago from getting the S2000 line. So I still have a slight issue, and I believe the subframe is slightly offset, and there's a reason for that. So before I got the car, it was in a rear end accident at some point in its life. The damage area was repaired. I think it was relatively recent-ish before I bought the car. So I think what happened is it got rear-ended, it smacked a curb or went up onto a curb or something on the passenger side, because everything on that side I've had to replace. The wheel bearing, the strut was blown. I think that was the bent control arm, possibly. So with the new control arms, the passenger side went into spec perfect, like right away, but we were having issues with the driver side wanting to go into spec. So we got it into spec a little bit, like we're just a hair out. But it's still good enough to where it's going to drive straight. It handles better already, because now that I've got some camber up front, whereas before it was like zeroed out and the caster was way far ahead and 2.5 degree difference, so it pulled to the right a bit. Now the caster is just 0.2 of a degree out, and the camber is 0.2 of a degree difference. So it's 0.2, like Xing essentially, which is fine. So the car is going to be okay, but I think what happened is presumably when the car curb hopped, it may have shifted the subframe. That's an issue with these cars. Not super common just from like normal driving, but hit a good enough pothole or really hard track day or something, it's possible. So Spoon Sports actually makes rigid collar mounts that help prevent that from happening. But to do that, to fix that, you gotta loosen all the bolts up, and there's like alignment holes that you gotta like get a big pin in there. So we on the alignment rack, it has the secondary lift, the hydraulic lift on it. So we lifted the front wheels up, we unbolted, or we loosened all the bolts, and we ended up kind of shimmying the rack around a little bit, or the subframe, we pried it around and then we tightened it all back down, and then it seemed to fall back more into spec. So everything's in the green. We should be good. But yeah, so not 100% perfect. It's like 96% perfect, but it is going to be good enough for now. But I'm just glad. Hopefully the car shouldn't need really anything else for a good while. Mechanically now it should be fantastic. More upgrades I plan on doing in the future? Yeah, of course. Anything I'm going to do to it right now? No, because I'm tired of spending money on the car that I just bought. I just want to kick back, start saving some more money again, and yeah, just focus on my work. And I really want to start tearing into this Integra. I really want another DA so bad right now. Like, I'm going through like all my old videos when I first started making videos out here and stuff. Oh, it just makes me miss the simplicity of just working on like something like that. Granted, it's not like this is overly complicated or anything, but I don't know. I'm very, whatever, you get it. Anyways, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video, found it entertaining, useful, something, at least a time killer. Hopefully I didn't waste your time today. Anyways, guys, if you want to help support the channel, Patreon, Big Hotel, merch, please support, buy some merch from me, please. I need it. I need your help. Anyways, guys, do what you love, think about the rest. Yeah, see you in the next one. Peace out.